Welcome to the show where strange takes flight, where the shadows meet the curious light. We're diving deep where the wild things stay, in a world beyond your everyday. Oh my, we're gonna blow your mind, peeling back the layers of space and time. From hollow worlds to things unseen, we're talking about things that live in between.
Here we are. This is Jordy Jets back with another episode of Mind Dump with Jordy Jets. Today I have a special guest, Will. What's up, Will?
Hey, how y'all doing?
And I met you. Now, do you believe in manifestation and like vibrations, frequencies of the mind?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Because I feel like I manifested you into my presence.
Okay, well, if that's your truth, brother, I can't tell
Hey,
you
man.
that's wrong. Okay, and as a matter of fact, I wouldn't do it if I really had it in me, because that is your truth, and that's fine with me. Okay, you all right? You all right, Jordy?
Because the reason I say that is I've been studying frequencies, how the mind works, how it can basically play with reality, right?
Yeah.
I met you at a certain fishing spot.
Yeah.
Now I don't live anywhere near there, and something was telling me to go all the way out there, sir. I was going to go all the way to Claremont.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was my first. That I made that plan the night before. I woke up, it was still in my head. I'm going to Claremont. I'm gonna get my bait, and I'm gonna drive over to Claremont. Now I met you. Are you okay of saying the location?
Yeah. No. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, so Sanford. Do you know how far that is?
I have no idea, sir.
So Claremont. Well, it's a whole nother city, in the whole opposite direction of where I was headed.
So let me jump in here and add to your story just a minute. Because what I was doing was randomly driving around in the city, because I live out of my vehicle. Okay.
Okay.
And I had never been to this location that
Wow.
we met at.
Wow.
And I'm going to tell you, Jordy, you were not the subject on my radar when I got my vehicle parked right there beside you and walked past you back down that pathway. There was three men sitting in chairs right over there, all dressed very neatly, all dressed very casually. And you could tell that they were wise men. The way that they were huddled, had their heads together, talking. They wasn't gesticulating wildly. They wasn't digging into coolers. They didn't have a bunch of beer cans around them, this, that, and the other. You know what I'm saying? They were
Right.
very
Clean cut.
everydayish kind of guys.
Okay.
And when I went by them and I glanced over there, I was looking at the water, the steamboat and everything. And my mind kind of went over them, and I didn't, what I call, percolated at that time. Okay. My mind didn't grasp the importance of what I had just passed by. But about a block down, it did. And I saw an opportunity about 30 feet from me, and I was going about, 20 miles an hour. So it wasn't hard to just pull over into there real easily. And I'm sorry about the background noise. I'm terribly sorry, but I'm outside. So anyway, I pulled in there, walked past you, went back there to the three wise men, asked them a question. And as I was coming back by, I was asking the people that was there what they were doing and this, that, and the other. And then there was you, and you had your bandana on, all head down, just, out there, just feet dangling, and approached you. And you said, what did you say, Jordy?
What did I say? Right away? I said something right away?
You looked up at me as I walked up to you, because I asked you, are you catching anything? And you looked at me with that brilliant smile of yours, and you said, not really. And I said, well, what are you doing? And you said, well, I'm killing time. I said, and very interesting, and then we got into conversation, and here we
Right,
are
right, right,
this day.
right. I mean, I was basically just feeding the fish at that point.
Stingray. You were fishing with,
I was looking for the stingray. Yes, yes, yes.
what did you call them? Shiners.
Shiners. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was looking for
And I
the
asked you, have you ever fished with
damn see.
shrimp?
Oh yeah, yes, yes. Cut. Yeah, yep, yep, yep. And I have, but it was at the beach. But but yeah, like it wasn't even like so you're saying you just happened to be there and I was drawn to go specifically there.
And I just happened to randomly bump into you in that what called in some genre of people would call that a ley line.
Ley
Okay.
line, yes, sir.
I don't know if anybody out there is even, genre-ly interested in that kind of
If they
topic
if
terminology.
if they find this podcast, then they are they are absolutely on that level.
All right. Well, then that's what we met on, right, Jordy?
Right, right. Met on the
And
ley
that ley
line.
line is a frequency of importance in someone's life because that ley line draws you to it because you are going to have a transition in your life.
I feel it. That's what I've been that's why I've
And
been studying all this frequency stuff.
and exactly why me and you were there, well, that's a topic of another subject.
Okay. But I wanted you to start off with what you told me.
You'll have to refresh my memory, Jordy.
Your
Specifically, what are you talking about?
your time in well, let's kick it off with the first thing you were telling me about was your time in a New York prison.
Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, okay, you're gonna lay that one out there. All right, well, all right.
Let's just warm up with it.
We, yeah, well, okay. So I, I can't reveal names and everything like that, without somebody okaying it. And I haven't, discussed this with them about
Yeah,
airing this.
no need
So
for names.
we're gonna have to, subtitle a lot of stuff, everything. Okay.
No problem.
So the cell system was a number and a letter system. Okay.
Hmm.
And there was a hallway, and down the hallway, the guards and they were called COs, and the inmates that do the custodial work, they get chosen for their good behavior, this, that, and the other, favoritism, whatever, however, I don't know. But some of them are what they call custodians or whatever they call them. I don't know. Anyway, they walk out there, and the COs come through the two doors that separate that hallway from where the cells are, and those two doors, one of them is called uh, letter number one, the letter, and then a numeral one, and then the next door is the letter and numeral two, and then the cells are lettered a letter and numeral three through a letter and numeral 12. Okay, so you
Hmm.
got 10 cells and you have the two doors, and the COs call over their radios and they say, open, you know, whichever thing number what you, and
Gotcha.
then that. And then when they get through that, they say close those and open this or whatever if they want something opened, or they just walk around looking at stuff, whatever. All right. So in uh, the number, we'll just say a number because everything was numbered.
Hmm.
Number three cell was a gentleman that everybody in the blot, you would say, of cells, um, was a Chinese gentleman, and why I say Chinese, I don't know. That it just kind of goes with the genre of what I'm fixing to talk about.
Hmm.
And my tenure in there, in the that jail cell system that they had, was very kind of limited. I was there for only about 12 days. Yeah, about 12 days. But during that time, I was steeped like a well steeped tea bag, all right, in hot boiling water or oil or whatever you want to call it. All right, I got a great, I thought, understanding of certain things, and not that I'm a PhD in it by any means. It probably just scratched the surface of what you really need to learn and how, and this, that, and the other, the whys and what have you. But the one thing that you can get very quickly, all right, just like
Hmm.
when you throw somebody out of a boat and teach them to swim, you can learn how to tread water real quick. You know what I'm saying, Jordy?
Right, right, right.
All right, so it doesn't take you long. I mean, with hours, minutes, whatever, to figure out how to get along without, uh, it becoming a problem. And
Gotcha.
unfortunately, no matter where, who, when, what, when you go inside one of those things, you, you're going into a predator's territory. And there's always going to be a hierarchy in a predator system. You understand what I'm saying, Jordy?
I believe so.
Okay, so this was obviously the education that I had before I went in there. Okay, I already knew this.
Okay.
You get a taste for it by watching TV, but you don't know what it's like until you experience it.
Right.
Everybody says, walk a mile in my shoes and you'll see what I see. You'll feel what I feel. You'll know what I know. Everybody wants to know what you know. They want to do what you do. They want to, experience you, or they want to tell you what to do, but they don't know what you've done. They want to think they know what you've done, but they don't want to walk in your shoes, Dory.
Right. They can only talk about what they experience.
But not everybody does that, right, Jordy?
Right, right, right.
And that's where you get back to I do me and you do you, and we'll be all right, right?
Correct.
But we're going to delve into some subjects here on this show that is going to be illuminating. Am I correct?
And I'm looking forward to it.
All right. So where were we at? I got off track and got on a tangent. I don't know what I was even talking about.
You were saying about the
Oh, the jail system. That's right.
yeah
So
the CO's opening doors.
in the cell number 3, there was a China man. I call him China. I don't know why. He could have been Korean, Taiwanese. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway,
Oriental.
Vietnamese. He was Oriental. Yeah, Asian descent. Okay, but
Gotcha.
Chinese, because what they said when I got in there, and everybody knows everybody's business. Everybody knew everything about me before I ever stepped foot in the cell block, Jordy. I don't know how, don't know why, but I know why. Because they want to know everybody that comes in there, because there's a buku amount of drugs that filter through the place. Okay, there's
Hmm.
more inside the jail than there is outside the jail. They specifically formulate the drug of choice. And oh my word, Jordy, you are not going to believe what they make it out of when I tell you. Did I tell you the other day about this, or is this a new subject that I just.
I wasn't sure if it was a drug. Now you were talking about a food.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. That's still at the beginning of this story, but we'll get
Okay.
into the drugs part of
Yeah,
it
yeah.
anyway.
You didn't tell me about that
So,
part.
that is another episode. All right. So the Chinese guy was in the the block number 3, right? We went uh the guy in K3, the Chinese, the whatever,
Hmm.
the
Oriental guy.
cell oriented guy. He was a single guy. Okay. The next cell had 2 guys in it. They were some bad guys. Okay, you just did not, get crosswise. I mean, they were
And
bad. All right,
and
the
you and
next.
and you did tell me that the setup was 4 people to a cell.
No, 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 no. That first cell, the number three, had one guy in it, the Chinese guy.
Yeah,
The
just him.
next cell had two in it. Okay, the
Okay.
next cell had three in it. Now that's three. Number three, four, five. All right, six had one in it. Seven had two in it, and three at time. But they would let down. There was mostly just two in the case in the number seven. All right, and number eight, when I was introduced into this, was the third person that was introduced into that cell, number eight. All right, number nine had one person. Number 10 had three people. Number 11 had one. And number 12 had two.
Okay. So before we get back to the Chinese man or the Oriental guy, were the number of people in the cells based off of like what they did? Like
Have no earthly idea about that other than supposition or intuition. Okay.
okay,
But I can tell you who the ones that were in a single cell, and that would be what you would call the HMIC out here in a business, which is the head man in charge,
gotcha.
or either inside, that would be what's commonly referred to on TV as a shot caller.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and in the jailhouse, that would be Mr. Whatever your name is.
Okay.
And when you disrespect one of them, and they slap you so hard that you can hear the shot go around the world from where we're at back is way back in the back to where out there in the general pop where the cells are all just bars and you got hundreds of inmates, and in the midst of that you hear a slap, and that's so distinguishable even though you got inches of steel between you, solid steel, in that area, because it
Damn.
echoes up and down those walls and everything. You hear a shot in the middle of the night. Pow!
Damn.
I mean, echoing. And then shortly thereafter, two young gentlemen get marched down in there, and the one of the one person cells gets thrown over into another of the one person cells, and they buddy up and have to divvy up onto that one bunk and figure out who's going to be who. And, it ain't pretty, but it happens. And the two guys that come down, of course, the one that his hands throbbing from just slapping the taste slam out of somebody's mouth. I'm talking about probably changed his zip code at the same time. Uh, well, he was the one that get bed.
Okay.
The other guy got the float. So Mr. Chinaman down there, reason he was by himself is they didn't nobody want to be in there with him, and he wouldn't have lasted more than about 30 seconds in any cell with anybody knowing, everybody knowing what he was charged for the last 30 years. They say stipulate, charge, or try to pin on this man. Oh, they did. Oh, they did. They pinned on this man trafficking human flesh for 30 years. The man was selling it to the, according to them, Chinese restaurants. And I bet you many of the other ones that bought meat, because meat is red and this meat tastes like pork.
Right.
It
Right.
is the human body. And this is what I was told. And let me tell you what, I can't get that out of my mind, Jordy. It is there forever.
Right. And what were
They
they
come and
changing it
got
to?
that man. They come and got that man and took him out. They gave him the lethal injection. They did not send him down to death row or anything. That man's knees was shaking so bad he couldn't keep from
Damn.
peeing all over himself all the way out there and down the hallway. Man, they was dragging him. They was
And,
dragging him.
and you
And
said
man
he
knew
was
what was
doing it
going
for
on.
30 years?
No, this was the driver, Jordy. This wasn't who
He wasn't.
he was a driver, man. He was the pawn in all this.
Okay. A little piece on the chessboard. fall
Yeah.
man.
That's my opinion on it anyway. That is what I get out of all this anyway, Jordan. Ain't no way that man that can't even speak English has been peddling that, getting that. How's he been getting all this flesh for 30 years? You ain't looking at the whole picture. If you think that man is the one that is responsible, yeah, he might have been involved.
Yeah.
But if you think that that man had the wherewithal, he didn't even speak English. Everybody tried to talk to him in the whole cell because we all had to go down there where his cell was to take baths. And that man was the nastiest critter you have ever seen. He would spit out there and try to spit on you. And I'm gonna tell you what,
Hmm.
if anybody, and the reason I say everybody tried to talk to him because he did the same thing to everybody, and everybody told him, "You come over here, mother. I'll whoop you. I'll tear you up." Boy, there was some strong threats thrown at that boy. But you know what you can do? He thinks he's safe inside those cells. You can pop that cell even though it's locked. You know that, Jordan? There's a technique to what they call popping a door, and you can pop a door. Just shows I'm sitting here.
Damn.
You think you're safe when that door goes clink clink? Hey, you ain't safe, man. You ain't safe at all from all these predators around you. Only way you safe is to be as bad as they are.
I mean, in
You
the
gotta
end, he
be
wasn't
off
safe
the.
at all if he got
You
lethal
gotta you
injection.
gotta be you gotta be just as off the chain as the next man. And there's a story in here that I got to get out to you one of these days, and you got to write it down, Jordy, because I'll forget about it. Next time we talk, I ain't even gonna think about it no
You
more.
sh-
But it only
you sure you don't want to do it right now?
yeah, we can, man. That right next door to my cell was another cell with two people in it. And man, they took one of the guys out and they brought a new guy in there. And man, he was all, oh man, you could see he was crazy, crazy, crazy. I mean, crazy. He had them crazy eyes. You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
say nothing to nobody. Unkempt hair, beard all whacked out and everything. Talking crazy talk, man. Like, and this is why I started calling him this. Started talking Klingon. You know what?
Yo, Star
Do you
Trek.
know? Do you know that there is a actual language that the Trekkie fans have developed, and it's Klingon, and I recognize it because I am a Trekkie.
I am. Uh, I like the Next Generation. That's the only one I've dived
Yeah, with
into.
Picard. Yeah,
I love Picard,
he
man.
is an awesome, awesome freaking actor. I'm
Speeches.
gonna tell you what. I hate that his health has done what it's done to him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
It's just like William Shatner too, though. You know what I'm saying? He's had bad, the health and everything. But hey, don't we all? You know what I'm diagnosed with, Jordy? I'm
Which
diagnosed with the black night of the soul, brother.
okay, now you have to tell me about that. We didn't go into it, but you did tell me about that.
Oh, the Black Night of the Soul. That's just it's on Googly Gook, man. All you got to do is Google it and just type in Black Night of the Soul or Dark Night of the Soul. You got different study groups on it and different. I think some of the Ivy League colleges actually try to research it heavily. But the thing about it is, it's the brain, man. That's what it is. It's
Okay.
dealing with, and they can't do nothing when they get past that dura matter up there that surrounds your brain. The subject dies if they try to do any research. You got to keep that matter in, and because what it does, it keeps, you know, uh, infections out of your brain. There's a like a, if you will, a force field, but it's not. It's human made. I mean, it's God made, but it's in the human body that protects the brain. Protects all that cholesterol up there behind it, so that it doesn't get infected with COVID-19 or whatever. Stuff can't get through it. It is only specifically designed to allow the body's needed fluids to get through it, right?
Okay. For our listeners, I am gonna read what I found on Google.
All right.
And you can like tell me anything more about it. The definition is so the dark night of the soul
Yeah.
is a spiritual concept describing a profound period of inner turmoil, despair, and disconnection from one's sense of purpose, faith, or divine connection. Uh,
Okay.
it, it often feels like an existential crisis where old beliefs and identities unravel,
Hold on.
leaving
Let
a
me stop you right there just a minute, Jordy. That sounds
okay.
like my soon-to-be ex-wife writing that. It is not that. It is the exact opposite for me. All right, it
Okay.
is existential. All right, but it turned me into what I am talking to you right now as an extrovert. All right, I used to
Okay.
be a hard introvert. To get me to speak to you, you would have had to hit me with the back of an axe in the head. I did not talk to you. I would look at you and I would dissect you by looking at you, by your body language and your soul aura. Because when I walked up to you, what I did is I read your soul off of your sleeve where you wear it. About 99% of the people. There's people out there that cannot be read, and those are people like Hitler, Genghis Khan,
Hmm.
you know, some of the greatest leaders, Donald J. Trump.
Okay.
Okay, you can see Eisenhower, some great people. But you know what? All these great people equal, they
What?
equal the same set of protoplasmic amalgamation of constituent atoms that we're all made from. They put their pants on one leg at a time, just like everybody else. You can do whatever you want to do. You can be whatever you want to be. My mama always told me. She ain't wrong. You know what? Your mama probably told you the same thing.
Yes,
Your
sir.
daddy might have said the same thing. Son, just get out there and do it. You know, it don't matter. Whatever you want to do, be the best you can at it. Always remember this, son. Be good. And he said, if you can't be good, boy, you make sure you good at it. You understand me?
I
I said, yes,
understand.
sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. I understand, sir. He said, don't let me catch you slacking and always leave something better than you found it, son. Don't ever take nothing from nobody. Earn what you get. Appreciate what you earn. And always honor your fathers. All right. And that goes forward, Jordy. That don't go downwards. You understand me? The seventh commandment. What does the seventh commandment tell you right now in 2025? Jordy, you got googly goop right there in front of you. Google that
I
son of
got
a
you.
gun.
I know my commandments. I don't know them in order.
7. What does it
Got it.
say, sir?
1 second. Boom. Thou shalt not commit adultery.
All right. What's number 8?
All right. 1 second. You shall not steal.
What's number 6?
Boom, boom. You shall not murder.
5.
Honor, there he goes. Honor your father and your mother, that your
All
days may
right.
be long upon the land which the Lord your God is given to you.
See, my mind's already up there about 8, 9, or 10 commandment. I done passed up 5 because you know what? It's been so unadhered to in my family. I done forgot about it. You understand?
But you still know it.
None of my family understand this. My daughters don't want me as their father. Okay, that's all right with me because I asked them. Please let me know how that turns out for you.
Okay.
You understand me?
I understand 100%.
All right. Hey, I did all I could do for over 30 years, brother. I can't do it no more. If they don't want it, I can't feed it to them because you can lead them to water, but you can't make them drink it, brother.
Another
Don't,
Bible
don't,
parable right there. Yes.
don't, don't discount the power of the word. All it takes is one word for a brush fire, Jordy. Believe me,
Yeah, words have power.
they have lots of power. All right. The word with real power in our society is Illuminati. Oh, baby, that's the things that go bump in the night, son.
Big topic right there.
Oh, well, you know, the bass gets turned way up. Boom, 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 boom. It's bump in the night. Why? Why, Jordy? Why? Tell me why. Why won't nobody talk about it? Why won't nobody say nothing about it? Everybody goes, "Oh yeah, I know about that," and they turn away.
And that's it.
Ooh, it's scary. It's a scary topic. They say John F.K. was killed by the Illuminati. Who says that, Jordy? Who says that? Not very many people. You know why? They don't that to get out on public
They don't
because
look
of
into it.
them AIs is listening to everything, ain't they?
Oh, 100%.
Ooh,
I have a
man,
problem going live on TikTok. I
hey,
keep getting banned.
what, Jordy?
Can't talk about certain
They
stuff.
throttling you down a little bit. They don't like your topics of discussion on your show. Are you saying that they're not liking you?
Shit. I can't even go live for a second.
You know, talk to them for about 20 seconds. I gotta be quiet for 20 seconds. You go ahead. Figure me something out to listen to.
You're talking about me? Okay, well shoot. I remember talking to you about the lead poisoning
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
lead
yeah, yeah. That was the
and
quickest 20 seconds I ever heard.
now now I do have something. I did ask you, did you think it was done on purpose?
What's that?
The poisoning, putting lead in everything.
No, I do not. I do not. I think it was a total imbecilic misunderstanding of chemicals, is what I think it was. I think they just didn't do their damn homework and they kept doing the same old thing like we're doing right now. Jordy, do you know what next year, about a month and a few days from now, is July the 4th, 2026? Do you know what that date is?
I keep hearing people in my circle, in my vibration talking about it, but what is it? I did not look into it.
It is the 250th year of this
Country,
country.
yeah, that's what. Okay, I did read that. Okay,
1776, the year we declared our independency. Oh, George Washington said, I declare we shall not be ruled from across the pond no more. We will be our own country. And henceforth, let it be known that Williams is gonna stand up. Williams is gonna stand up for our rights and put forth the effort to create a constitution for all of us so we will be free people under the good Lord our Father. And every man shall be free, equal rights, blah 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 blah. Right. We
right, right.
what did we do to the people that was already here, Jordy? What did we do to
Conquered,
them?
conquered, right?
What?
Well,
The
supposedly
free people was already
I was
here.
brought here, right?
Your forefathers went, but they went back over across the pond and
Yeah.
said, "I need some little these little black people right here. They do good work, man. Look at them. They good, hard working people. I need some of these, right?" And that plantation owner said, "Hey, I need about 10, 12 of y'all," and put them to work in the field. But he didn't give them minimum wage. He gave them a strapping across the back and some probably old beans and cornbread that was moldy or something like that, and said, "Here, you appreciate what you got." You know, that's kind of what we got these days right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
It shit ain't changed. You know, you think you free? The hell, man, that kind of taxes you pay. Is that a free man? Is that a
No,
free
no,
man,
no. Of
Jordy?
course not. Of course not.
How many dollars do you get out of your check? How many
I,
dollars does everybody else get out of your check?
too
And they call it
much.
and they call it legal. They call it taxes. Yeah, you gotta, the Bible even says you gotta pay Caesar his due, and there ain't nobody stupid enough to understand it. You know, it don't. You know, it takes a little bit of grease to make things go, because ever since we discovered the damn wheel, you had to have something to grease it. You know what I'm saying?
Something to
They
power it.
use tallow back in the days, in the Egyptian days. You know, them guys that also they use human blood. because if you fell in front of that block and that block got your foot, well, they just pulled that damn block right on over you, and they used your gas for a slick spot.
Ah, shit.
Ain't no shit. That's it. Now, you didn't see that on Ramses when the damn movie had guy, poor guy. Well, Ramses went over there and cut the damn uh, thing and stopped the guy from beating the shit out of him because he fell and dragged him out. And that's when, he started getting his ass whooped too.
Damn.
Hey, you can do the right thing and be wrong, or do the wrong thing and be right. What is it, Jordy? Is it right or wrong? It depends on who's writing the damn
Yeah.
history books, right?
Yep. It's the winners. It's all
The
that
winners.
from
The
from their
winners.
perspective.
That's
But
it.
back to this lead, right? Now I guess I'm more of a pessimistic when it comes to all this toxicity. I kind of
Well, Jordy,
believe. What's up?
we've been poisoning this country for, I mean, this not this country. We've been poisoning this world for years and years and years, decades. Man, we've been building fires, and they say fires is changing the atmosphere. That's just a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
That's just a bunch of
It used to be
bullshit.
called global warming. Now it's called just climate change. And I was like,
Al Gore got a damn
oh God.
wild hair up his ass to call something to make a damn what do you call it? Shoot, uh, organization for free stuff. A 501c, a 501 A B
Um.
C D X Y
Uh.
Z, whatever the heck. A
The
chapter 13 or chapter no, not a that's another
nonprofit.
thing. Well, the same thing, huh? Yeah, it's a
Nonprofit.
50. It's nonprofit 501c.
Yeah.
That's how with the tax bracket thing. You got to go set that up, have a board and all that good stuff. Have your charters all chartered out and get approval by the state, the government, and all this. And you legalize criminality is all it is, brother.
Hmm.
Legalize criminality is all it is. Who has a 501c and drives around Mercedes Benzes and Ferraris and dang, if you cared enough to have a 501c, what would you drive around in, Jordy? A Volkswagen? What do you drive around every day? A Subaru?
No,
A Chevrolet?
I drive a Corolla.
A Toyota?
Uh huh.
See, I mean, man, that's me and you. We. Well, I don't know if we blue collar, and we dang sure ain't white collar.
I'm
I
definitely
don't know
blue
if I'm
collar.
any collar. I don't think I don't wear a collar.
Yeah.
I'm strictly t-shirt, dude. I was brought up from, well, I mean, I say I created my kids out of two sticks and some dirt because when I was a kid, I played in the mud, man. I made mud pies. That's what I played with, man. I built mud pies and red clay dirt.
That's
Some of
where
the
the immune system is right there.
some of the dirt that I would play in though had certain colors to it, and you could dig those colors out, and you could paint with them, man. Purple hues of and whites with pinks in it and everything. And man, you could dig it out of those hills, and man, you could paint with it and make some pretty murals and everything. That's what we did as kids, for entertainment. We did
Okay.
stuff like that. And
Okay.
went down the ditches and picked up the Dr. Pepper bottles and the Mountain Dew bottles, real glass Coca-Cola and Pepsi bottles, and got a 10-cent rebate on them and bought a little candy.
Okay.
But unfortunately, doing all that and everything, those dirty bottles that was in those ditches, and as many of those recycled bottles. Do you know what they'd recycle those bottles and do? And even in Mexico, I was down there and they were doing the same thing. And they got the same issue that we got, the toxicity level. Because years and years and years and years of using lead freaking
Mm-hmm.
fuels. You know what happens? Drops off of that tailpipe, right? It just rolls out the ass into that car. Because you know what happened to those cars back in the day, back when I was a young boy, sucking on the tailpipes of all these cars, right? And I say that, flippantly as a metaphor, because what are you doing? You're breathing the damn air that's coming out the damn tailpipe. So what are you doing? You're
Yeah.
sucking on a damn tailpipe.
Basically.
Well, guess what? The ass in them cars eat off. That lead,
Deteriorated.
what was it though? Why did it react with metal in such a way to break down an object that back in the day was made out of some tough stuff. You know what a car these days made out of this gauge of metal that we have these days? If they used gas in it, do you know the toxicity of the fumes of
Oh
that gas had to be at a level that would eat
man,
away the gauge of steel that was in cars in the 60s and 70s?
I would have only had about 3 months off the lot with my Corolla.
Well, you don't have this issue. We don't have lead in the gas anymore, do we?
Right, all unleaded, as you see on
Oh,
the.
that's a misnomer right there, brother. That's a misnomer. All right, that's a smoke screen for you, Jordy.
Explain.
What else is in gas that's bad for the environment? Google it, sir. You got the googly gook.
All right, what's in gas?
What
All right,
can't you do with gas and be EPA
is it ethanol?
qualified for a damn job? If you was to take oil or uh, gasoline or kerosene, diesel, or anything else, poured out there on the ground, what have you just done? You've caused a toxic dump site.
Mm-hmm.
People do it every day, man. Every day. I swear to God. If you had one of them satellite little what do they call them? The pearl strings. You had one of them pearl strings that crisscrossed enough where you could take a real time and enhance it to show where this substance was very concentrated in it would have to be into certain particulate matter and have to be at a certain spectrum, a wavelength. You know, you can do ground penetrating radar, and if you do a full spectrum, you know, you see anything of interest, right?
Right.
And you know what those satellites can do? They can track your ass.
Of course,
Jordy, they can track your ass right now.
of course.
All right.
Facial
So
recognition,
they can
metadata.
look at all the earth and do the full spectrum and come up with it. You know what they did in a hometown of mine years and years and years ago? It was before the whole thing about this fracking went haywire. You know, and now it's just kind of bubbled down because nobody wants nobody fracking around them, right?
Messes up the
Why?
water around.
Right.
It gets into the water.
All right. Well, they went all over this country and take these trucks, and they had this thing look like a vacuum hanging up underneath it. But what it was like a big elephant's foot. And what it'd go down is it'd go down to the ground and lift that whole big old 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 wheeled big old, you know, like one of them vac trucks kind of deal. But the back or a trash truck, the back was full of this sensor imaging gear and everything. And what it do is it would lift that truck off the ground. They'd lower that thing. It'd lift that truck up off the ground. All right. So that was easily 30,000 pounds at least, probably more. Lift off the ground, and then it would start doing. All right. It was sending sound waves down through the earth, right, Jordy?
Okay.
We know what it was doing, brother. I mean, what else was it doing? Sitting
Wait,
there
what?
taking a lunch break, or
What is
what?
it doing?
It was taking ground penetrating
Okay.
radar imaging.
Okay. Sending radio waves and stuff down there.
Yeah.
Okay,
You know, they
got
do
it,
it with
got
a
it.
smaller unit these days for these sinkholes and everything. It's
Yeah.
something you put around like a lawnmower.
And then it
But
bounces back, and you get
yeah,
like a little image.
this was the granddaddy of the ground penetrating. This was the one that the bureaucracy built. You know, them kind. The one that they spend, you know, a couple $1 million on this truck
Right.
because you paid for it and I paid for it. It didn't come out of nobody else's pocket.
Right.
I
And
mean,
now they don't even need a truck. They do it from the satellites. They do it from planes now. They have a whole plane that does what you just said.
well, back in the day, and that would have been back in the late 70s, early 80s that this happens.
Okay.
There wasn't any of this technology around, my brother.
And probably
And
wasn't
that's
any much regulations either.
Regulations? What the hell are you talking about? Regulations?
What
Man,
regulations?
regulations didn't start till Reagan got in the damn office, man. And then Obama fucked all that up. And then the recent idiot that they had in there, oh my God, don't get me started. My damn God. And don't let me take
The
my Lord's
corpse?
name in
You talking about the
vain.
corpse?
Oh, no, I'm talking about mindless Joe.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The
Damn,
corpse.
man. Come on. He did have a pulse, but it was just barely.
They
You
gave
know,
it to him.
shit. They had to thump that son bitch on the butt and stick those electrodes through his damn neck to get him out of the bed.
Every time he got out, and when his battery came up, that's when they brought him off of
God
stage.
almighty, Kamala come up there and try to be a mouthpiece, and she wasn't nothing but an idiot.
And right now,
A
she's just a drunk.
freaking idiot. God damn, there was two idiots. There was the mindless Joe and Kamala, the two biggest idiots that's ever been in the greatest seat on this earth. I mean, come on, guys. Even the ones that
Yeah.
don't like Trump, you got to admit, oh, mindless Joe, why did we ever let somebody put that idiot in our greatest office? We don't need to be a ship without someone at the rudder, even if it's somebody that's like Trump. I mean, I don't think the man's the next coming of God or anything, but he's got a damn good business mind at least.
At least he has a mind. Yeah.
I mean, you can't stand him sometimes, but that don't mean he's a bad guy. He's kind of like me. He just shoots his damn mouth off sometimes,
Yeah.
and he needs to shut the hell up, kind of like me, right?
Blatant.
Jordy?
He's blatant, and when you get blatant, that's also truthful.
But at the same time, you know what? If you don't like what somebody's saying, just shut up and go on about your business and don't worry about it. It's your problem because you don't like what somebody else is saying, because we live in a world of free speech. You don't got to jump in there and respect somebody because they got a viewpoint against yours. Just understand that it is just a different viewpoint, and we'll all get along just fine. You don't got to try to kill Trump because he's got his viewpoint. You got your viewpoint. Why didn't you try to kill dumbass mindless Joe? Was you too, sorry for the damn dummy?
Man, I think all of that was
I do too, but
like
you don't know. It's all propaganda, Jordy.
propaganda. Yes.
You put it all in a bag and you couldn't find the damn truth with a damn sieve, son.
Mm-hmm.
Shit. You think you hearing the truth about anything? Elon Musk. What? That boy is the greatest genius, and some people call him the greatest idiot.
Yeah, that's
Well,
crazy. You might not like him, but he is sure not an idiot.
God almighty. What
That's
the
crazy.
hell?
Now,
Anybody that can be
now saying
anybody
that
can
is
be
idiotic.
shooting freaking rockets to the damn, even if they blow up, God damn it. All right, you get out there and build a rocket. All right. Invest your fucking hard-earned pennies in it to it, and then you talk about what you want to talk about. The man's sending rockets into outer space and you say he's an idiot. You are the biggest idiot I ever heard of. And please get out of my sight, because I swear I've got an urge to puke.
Now, I have a theory about old Elon and the government. You want to hear this?
Oh, I bet you do. You spit that
Now,
thing out. Let's talk about it.
all right. So okay. So I'm not too sold on what's up there. You understand what I'm saying?
What are you talking about?
I'm not too sold on
Too sold on what? What are you talking about?
outer space.
It's outer space, man. It's the vacuum of space. It's outer space.
Now,
Don't tell me you're one of these nuts that thinks that the Earth's flat.
hey! I don't. No. I don't think that. But I did think.
And just because I call you a nut, I love you, Bubby.
No.
I don't think you're something that is crazy or anything. I'm just saying, everybody gets stuck in a category, man. I'm gonna
Now-
tell you what. Go ahead.
Now we can go deeper on like flat Earth and everything, because I do understand some things that they're talking about, and one of the things that they talk about, like I don't think flat Earth is a real thing. I think it's just something to blow something out, like NASA. Like how much money and tax dollars are we spending on NASA like every day? It's like billions a day, billions. You know what I'm saying? Like it just seems
Jordy,
like a money funnel.
Jordy, I've already told you, man. All this is just mindless chatter, you know, all that you're talking about, we're talking about,
Mm-hmm.
it is only white noise. And I don't mean white as in the color. I'm talking about white noise that cancels each other out. Okay, you understand what I'm saying here?
Mm-hmm.
It is meaningless. You know why?
What's up?
What was your discussion just about? What was you just talking about? What was you just saying? Tell me what. Reiterate what you were just saying. What you spit out. What was your? What did you just say? Say it again, because.
Space. I just think space isn't what
But
we're.
you were talking about flat Earth and that some of them blah blah blah, and you
Okay.
thought about blah blah blah. Well, listen, all of that, and even your postulation on it and everything. Well, what does it all matter? To be honest with you, what? When you get down to it, we are human beings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Elon Musk. Some say he's the biggest idiot they ever seen. Some say he's the greatest man they've ever known. Some say he's a visionary. Well, who's wrong? Who's right? Who cares? What does it matter?
I
Is
think
he
it's more
doing
of
any?
like a control thing.
Is he doing anything to hurt us? Is he doing anything to hurt us? That's the bottom line here. I told you the other day. Follow the money, Jordy. Follow the money.
Hey, that's what I'm doing. That's exactly where I was getting to.
There you go.
Now, now,
Go
now,
ahead. Go
now.
ahead.
Okay, so first off, I think space is something different. I think something is there, but the further you go out, I think it's a little bit different than what we are told.
Okay, go ahead.
Through,
Go ahead and
I
say it for
mean,
me.
everything that we learned was from the Rockefeller schools, right? Public
Well,
schools.
well, who was Rockefeller, man? Have you discussed that on your channel? Who was Rockefeller?
Not yet, man.
All right, Rockefeller. Let's look at him. He was
Okay,
one of our forefathers, right? He was a great man, correct?
great man. Okay,
Why? Why
I'm
are you calling him a great man?
I'm not sure. I'm just reiterating what you said so
Well,
I can hear more.
what does Google say about him? I mean, what does the history say about him? Was he a great man or was he a freaking lunatic?
Well, if I go with Google, of course it's going to say he's a great man.
Well, read the truth. Where can you find the truth at? Come on, come on.
You got to dig yourself. You got to compare different sources
All right.
and
Well,
and look at the world yourself.
most people just read Wikipedia and figure out whatever Wikipedia says, and that's what they go
Can't
with.
do that, man. Not
Why?
me. Not me.
Why?
I dig deeper, man.
Why though?
I don't
Why do
vibrate
you
like
dig?
that.
Why do you Why do you dig? Why?
That's not how my
What's the
mind works.
purpose? What's the purpose though? You want to know what? What do
The
you want to know?
answers.
Why are you digging?
The
What
answers.
answers? You want to know the right answers, right?
Right, the correct ones.
What's the correct ones though?
That's
The
why I
ones
created
that
this platform.
the one that resonates. You're
Hmm.
talking about the one that resonates, that vibrates at the frequency that your soul says is yes, because your soul's already known what the truth is. Most people don't stop to think. Just like you have priests and you have fathers and you have pastors and you
Hmm.
have rabbis and you have what all ever else genre, monks, whatever. All right. But
Gotcha.
what's the bottom line? The resonation, right? Why do you have so many of them? Because different ones resonate with different ones, right?
Correct.
When you have a congregation, does everybody resonate with the same frequency or does everybody have their own frequency? What is a frequency? Where's this coming from? How are we seeing a frequency that we don't hear? What is that, Jordy? What is a frequency? It's a radiation wave. Is that
Hmm.
correct?
It's a
What does that
wave.
radiation? What is the commonality in a radio wave? Because some people call it RF waves, which
Hmm.
was radio frequency. But what is radio frequency? What is that? It's radiation, right?
Yes.
And what are you doing with radiation? You're detecting radiation with an antenna of some sort, right? Because
Yeah, you got to have a tool to detect it.
some radiation levels aren't harmful. Is that correct? Because people said that these cell phones was not good for the brain.
Hey, I first okay, so when the 3G first came out, right? The news, all it was saying was cancer this, cancer that. It's going to cause cancer. If you look back right now and try to find a news story from when they first came out, you can't find that anymore.
Do you realize that there was a breakneck era where
Say it again.
they were
A breakneck.
breakneck? In other words, they were falling all over themselves, running, trying to cover up the shit piles that they were leaving, having left, and the brush fires that was starting with all this cancer crap, with the cell phones causing cancer to the brain. They had
Mm-hmm.
no idea that the cover up, just like Coca-Cola cover up. You know what that was? The Coca-Cola cover up, great cover up. Sugar.
What was
It wasn't cocaine, it was sugar.
it? Was never cocaine.
Never, that was a smoke screen, brother.
I thought
Smoke screen,
I thought
smoke
that was the
screen, smoke
flavor.
screen, smoke screen.
Okay.
Sugar. You know what sugar does to you?
It well, what I know, it stops all other processes and just focuses on the sugar.
No, what does sugar do to your body?
Deteriorates like lead.
What does it do to your joints? What does it do to your liver and your kidneys and your other organs as you ingest the Coca-Colas with the sugar in there? It makes you dependent. You're addicted to
Addiction. hundred
sugar,
percent
not
Yes.
cocaine, not cocaine. They put cocaine and stuff still today and prescribe it. It
Yes.
was a smoke screen. It
It's
was
in
a smoke
lidocaine.
screen. It was a smoke screen, dude. Nothing but a
Okay.
propaganda
I'm gonna have to
machine of
look into
epic
that. I'm gonna have to look into that. I'm gonna
proportions.
have to, I never even heard that before. I never heard that. I have to look
Yeah.
more into that.
You know, that's what's killing most every freaking body on this planet. But there's a lot of things that's killing people on this planet that we still doing it. We're still doing it today, not looking into it because it's money, man. It's just money.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, if you don't follow the money, you won't know the truth. And if you don't want to know the truth, don't ask. Because if you can't handle the truth, there's no reason to ask a question. If all you want to do is fool yourself into believing something that's not the truth.
Okay.
And if it's not your truth, then, you know, don't worry about it. Go on about your business. You know, it ain't going to matter in the end. We all dying 50 to 100 years. You think you're going to make a difference with whatever we're going to do here on this earth? I'm here to tell you right now. Millions of years this earth's been circling that damn sun out there. We're all a bunch of protoplasma, all right? If you think that way. Or we're supplants onto this ball of earth, if you think that way. Or we're aliens of different cultures, just don't know it yet, if you want to subscribe to that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what you just subscribe to. I know what I subscribe to. And if somebody wants to tell me what I believe in, they better do it from far enough away that I can't get to them fast enough. I don't need nobody to tell me what I think. I can think myself. All right.
Okay.
My dad and mom are long, long gone. They are the only ones that taught me right from wrong. I don't need a modern day mama or daddy. I don't need a wife that's going to tell me how to live and children that don't respect me. I've done everything I could for all of them, Jordy. I think I'm well enough to say, if you don't want to be around me, goodbye. Have a good life. All right.
Mm-hmm.
If you want everything I ever did for you, every dime, every dollar, if you want the clothes off my back and the sweat off my ass left with you, all you gotta do is say it. All right. You don't gotta be shit about it. All you gotta do is say it. All right. I know what the facts are. I know what I've done. I know what I did. Don't try to tell me what you didn't do, because I know where all the skeletons are buried. 35 years, I think it was a good 35 years, Jordy. Really do. But the last 2 years, not so much. All right. The last couple months, my mind went into overdrive and said, boy, you got to do something quick or you are going to be done. And
Okay.
I almost killed myself. I almost did it, but I didn't.
Okay.
You know, it's terrible. This month right now that we're in is mental awareness month. You know that, right? May is mental health awareness month.
I didn't know that, and that's crazy because I don't tell anybody this, but I had a mental break.
Mental break. You ain't had no mental break,
I
brother.
had I had
Your frequency got off.
yes sir,
See?
yes sir,
That's
yes
all.
sir.
That's all it was.
That's what
Is
it
all it
was.
was. And then you
And
had
you
to
know what
reset. You
happened
had to
though?
do a hard reset. You had to do a hard reset.
You nailed it right there. It
I
took a
know you,
while.
Jordy. I
It
know you.
took a
You know how
while,
I know
but
you?
yeah,
I sit there and talk to you for about what? About 15 seconds. I know you,
about 50,
Jordy.
about 15 minutes.
Well, okay. It was 15 seconds, and I already knew who you was. You looked at me underneath that bandana and looked up there at me and smiled, that big old radiant smile of yours. You know that. But I seen them stapled eyes on that hat, and I knew
My
who you
hat right here.
was. Yeah. You can
Okay.
shit a shitter, my boy, but you can't shit me, my man.
But
That's
yeah,
it.
about 3 Mays ago, yeah, I had to do a huge mental reset.
That's all. That's all you had to do.
Yes, sir.
And people
I
can't
like that.
understand it sometimes. People can't understand it sometimes. People
Nah.
will go off the rails around you because they say you are out your mind, boy.
And
You
you
are
know what's
out
crazy?
your mind, son.
They they try to institutionalize, right?
Me, me,
Me too, man.
twice, twice, twice. You know what I did? I did it myself. I went up there and said, "Hey, my wife says I need to be institutionalized." I said, "Right now, you better institutionalize me because the next time she says this, I'm gonna be off the damn chain. I'm gonna tell you right now. I done called her some names because she told me this shit, and I'm here to tell you right now, I am not who she says I am, but I am fed the fuck up with this. Put me in there, evaluate my ass, and let me go. And I'm gonna tell you right now, if you don't hurry up and get it done, and I get tired of being in here, I'm fixing to leave. You better get it done. You better get it done quick and make your damn evaluation as fast and expedient as you can. And I'll tell you about another fast and expedient thing that ain't happened that's gonna happen. Well. About 12 hours almost. It was about 11 hours and 45 minutes. They said, "You ready to go?" I said, "You damn right, I'm ready to go." They said, "Well, your clothes is right over here." I said, "Thank you." They said, "Sign right here." I said, "Kiss my ass. Consider that sign." And I gave them a kiss on the way out. Because you know what else I had come in there for? I was suffering from a staph infection.
Oh,
Not once, but twice, not 3 times, but for the fourth freaking time, they wouldn't give me my damn medic. Every time I went to that damn ER, they give me amoxicillin or something like that. And I kept telling them the whole time. I said, "Man, I got staph, dude. I got staph." And they let it go rampant. It broke out all over my legs, all over my chest, up my back. Man, I was feeling like death. And I finally said, "Son of a gun, I got to go back to that damn ER for the third time." So I did. I almost died like 4 times. I knew I needed to call 911 and come get me, but I was just so hard headed I wouldn't do it. You know, I was gonna get there myself, or I was gonna die trying. I was fuck all them people that wants to put me in a ambulance. I said I can get myself there or not. I said one or the other. It'll get done by His will, and that's my upper power, my higher power, God. That's who I put my faith in. You know, people say, "Well, take the Lord's name in vain." I said, "That's between me and Him, man. Shut up. You ain't got no right to talk to me about that."
right. Can't
I
cast
said, "Shut
judgment
up."
on other people.
I said, "Just shut up." You know, and they're like, their old eyes get all big. "Well, you're not very pious." I said, "I'm pious as hell. Shut up." You know, I'm an ordained minister, Jordan.
Yeah, you told me.
Yeah, yeah. So shut up. You know what I'm saying? I asked
Yeah.
three wise men to give me some advice. You know what they did? They gave me advice. You know what I told them? Thank you, thank you, thank you. And you know what? Each one of them got up and shook my hand and said, "You know, it's a learned individual that will sit there and say thank you for advice and need to go contemplate it on it." Because that's what I told them. I said, "Thank you. I need to go contemplate on this."
Right.
And you know, because you told me something that I don't percolate. You know, I gotta thinkalate on it. My thinkalator is
Right.
sometimes it jumps around and kind of fritzes a lot. Like,
You
you
got.
know, when you was trying to tell me how to do something, you know, it tilts. You know, like the pinball machines used to do. If you got mad at them and
Mm-hmm.
get them a
Mm-hmm.
wiggle, you know, go ding 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 ding. That's how my mind works. You know what I'm saying? I'm an
Right.
old pinball machine.
Just gotta
Can't
take
shake me.
time to think about it.
You can't shake me, and you can't kick me. If you do, I'll go off the rails, man. You know, you got to talk soft, and you got to say please and thank you, because that's how my mama taught me, and that's what I think is right. And you know, anything else is wrong, man. You know, no is an answer. When somebody says no, you stop. You know, your mama said no. Boy, you better draw your damn hands back in, or you're getting slopped upside the head. That old
Hundred
ear gonna be
percent.
ringing on you. You know, if you got down to the butt, boy,
That's when
jeez.
the belt comes out.
Oh, hell no. That's when your ass starts ringing. Ding, 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 ding. She could play that mug. Woo! I'd be running around, my hands covering that ass. She'd be tearing them hands up. What? Move them hands. Hop, hop, hop. And she wouldn't stop till you move them hands and let her get in that ass. Well, hey, she wasn't trying to hurt you, though. You know, she was just getting your attention. That's all she was doing. I love my mama. She wasn't no abuser, but she was teaching me
Tough
right
love.
from
Tough
wrong.
love.
Hey, I saw in a parking lot just day before yes, no, it was yesterday. It was yesterday. I saw it. Three Hispanic ladies, an elderly lady, not so elderly lady, and a real young lady, and a child that was probably three-ish. I'm gonna say maybe three. Was a pretty good sized little guy. And I'm gonna tell you what, I was parked out across the parking lot, and they was parked, as it turned out, close to us. And all the way across that parking lot, that little boy, I didn't really pay attention to it, but I heard something, and I looked over there, and he was being a little brat, you know. And I just kind of chuckled to myself, and I was on their side of my vehicle, closest to them, so I walked around and got on the other side of the vehicle, so they were, you know, not threatened or what have you by my presence out there. You know, three women with a small child and a guy, you know, standing out in the parking lot who feels comfortable around that. So I put something in between us, you know, trying to be respectful as a human being, right, Jordy? You don't
Mm-hmm.
want to intimidate somebody, you know, because I swear, Jordy, I walk into a store or I walk into a bar or something, you know what I get? Heads turned, and I get that old side eye look going on, like the
Mm-hmm.
hackles is going on. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right. Right.
who's this dog coming in here? Or do we need to go piss on his leg, find out if whatever is up is up? But
You
no,
know
I'm
how
not
that
like
feels.
that. I'm not like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a lover, man. I'm a giver. You know, I'm a maker. I'm the one that fixes things. I'm the one that does it.
All right. So Will, we have one more thing you told me to do some homework on, right?
I don't know, what was that?
Faraday cages.
Oh, you're talking about Faraday cages now. Why you want to know about Faraday cages, there,
I mean,
Jordy?
we talk about the radiation. We talk about the waves that's going through the air. It's all
Uh huh.
littered, causing cancer and stuff.
Well, that's the dirt is causing cancer, dude. You know, we walk around. Right now, I've been walking around just enjoying the day. You know, it's Sunday afternoon. Got a nice day, man. It's just so nice, so nice. And, you know, all this dirt that is kicked up by walking, you know, it's getting on
Hmm.
your legs. You know, all that paint, those paint that everybody's so worried about and selling all these paint lead detecting kits and the mitigation costs of stripping out lead or heavens forbid, like back in the day, the asbestos. Oh
Oh
my
yeah.
word, Jordy. How many schools did you ever go to that had asbestos sprayed in the ceilings of them, just exposed? I mean, completely exposed.
Man, all that
Because they had to
popcorn,
take,
right?
well, it was, it kind of looked like, be honest with you, it kind of looked like matted up buffalo hair. I mean, it was kind
Mm.
of, you know, kind of looked like sprayed on fiberglass that wasn't finished or anything. It was just sprayed up there and left to stick up, you know, all over like kind of like that. But it was mattier, and it was a kind of a blanket that they would spray with this chopper gun back in the day because they didn't know
Yeah.
asbestos was totally bad, toxic even. uh you know, God, it was bad. You know, I mean, we killed so many people by doing dumb shit like that. You know, but it's all a
Mm-hmm.
learning curve. You know, it's all a learning curve, man. I tell you what, for somebody to love you so much that they don't want to go on living without you, what do you know about that, Jordy? Who says that? Who does that? You know, somebody that says that, that's only known you for a few months, and they were with someone else in their life for 40 something years, and they tell you that, what does that mean to you, Jordy? What would it mean to you?
Mm. Hmm.
Said you were so good, she ain't never seen nobody as good as you. And can't nobody in this world that's known you before now stand to be around you. But she says you the best thing she's ever seen. What is that? It's a different perspective on something than somebody
Mm.
else's, right?
Gotcha. Yeah.
That's all it is, ain't it?
Gotcha.
She's been
Yes,
around
sir.
somebody that was a shit for 46 years, right?
Yeah. Worse than yeah.
And I come along and she says, "Oh my God." I'm telling you, that's her exact words. She said, "I saw you and I thought to myself, oh my God." I said, "Don't even try to lie to me like that ever again." She said, "What?" I said, "I'm just kidding, darling." I said, "I'll take your compliment. Thank you very much. I just don't believe it." Okay. She says, "Oh, it's true. It's true. It's true." I said, like, okay, all right, I'm going to believe you till I don't. And that was the
Okay.
end of that conversation.
Okay. Well, shit, man. The reason I was bringing up the cages is just because you had texted me about it, and
Well, it goes
I
along
think
with
you had
everything. It goes along with everything else we've talked about. I mean, basically, and everything. It's the radio frequency, man. It's a Faraday cage is only something that keeps out a certain megahertz. A
not
megahertz is the frequency of the radio frequency, I think. I don't know. I'm not an expert. If you want an
right, right.
expert, I suggest you get Neil deGrasse on your show and let
Oh,
him
Mr.
tell you
Tyson.
all. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Get him to come on your show and explain all. I'm talking about finite detail. It ain't much. A Faraday cage
Okay.
ain't nothing, man. It's just a wire frame of some sort. But you know, you gotta have test equipment. You gotta have the knowledge to make the test equipment, or have it already made. Find it somewhere. Don't make it just off the shelf. I mean, most people, scientists wise, is gonna make their own. You know what I'm saying? Because they're smart
Mm-hmm.
enough to know how to do it. Well,
Okay.
me knowing how to talk about something and me knowing how to build something is two totally different things. Now, I have knowledge from knowledge. I don't have knowledge from memory, muscle memory. Okay, I have knowledge from memory in reading or experience it in a different way, and I can't explain that any further than that. Okay, it all has to do with the frequency once again. And if you're not in the know, you're not in the know. You're never gonna know, so I can't explain it. Okay, it's done. Me and you, we could have a private conversation and could just go off. But I don't know if would do nothing but confuse people that's trying to listen now. They would probably drop off the air like blah. But we can get
Understood,
into it
man.
a little bit at a time, kind of introduce your constituents to it. It's just, everything's about a frequency. Everything in the world, everything's about money. You follow the money, follow the money, follow the money, follow the money. It'll take you to where the power is. The power, power, power.
Okay.
Everything's about power. Everything's about money. You know what I'm saying? Everything. Hierarchies. Power, power, power. Money, money, money. It's all about it.
Understood. Yeah, yeah. That's basically what I believe in. That's how I do my research. I try to follow the money.
And Faraday cages are all about radio frequencies or blocking them. So why you would want to build a Faraday cage? Okay, say if you wanted to hide something, a conversation that you're having from someone. Okay, you want to put it around your phone, or you want to hide your phone because you think somebody's tracking you, or you think that AIs are listening to you. So they make them today. You can buy them, the Faraday cages, if you got enough money and you know where to get them from, and this, that, and the other. Or you can build your own if you got enough smarts, or you can hire somebody enough smarts. You can do it, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that do it, and they have their meetings in Faraday cages because you can't get a radio frequency in or out of these cages. And a cage can be as big as a building. Have you ever went into a metal building and your cell phone cut out on you, a block building like a Lowe's or a
Oh
Home
yeah.
Depot or a Walmart or something like that? You can't get no damn reception out of it because all them walls and steel is around you, and that's the same deal, but it's not a Faraday cage because it actually lets things in and out. But it is a Faraday cage because if you put about 6 feet of concrete all the way around you, you would be into basically an impermeable cage where radio frequencies wouldn't be able to get through to you unless it had an avenue through to you, like an antenna with a wire that would pick it up outside, bring it inside. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then
See.
you could interrupt that radio frequency and determine whether you wanted to talk to it or not, or just forget about it. It couldn't automatically just come to your device and steal information out of it because you don't know if it's your device is tattling on you or not. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Now I was more on the metaphysical realm type of topic with the Faraday cages. I don't know if you're into that.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
Like higher dimensional thinking, quantum consciousness. That's the type of stuff I'm
Now, are you
into.
talking about Pandora's box or are you talking about Faraday cages?
Now, I'm talking about, have you ever heard of the Akashic records?
No. Have you ever heard of the Occam's razor?
Well, you tell me that, and I'll tell you about
No.
the Akashic.
You show me
You
yours
want me to go
first, and I'll
first?
show you mine. Yeah.
All right. So let me bring it up. So
I
basically,
don't got, I'm gonna have to let you do the googly gooking because I don't have it on my end.
okay. So the Akashic records is basically the universal record of all events, thoughts, and emotions that have ever occurred since the beginning of time. Basically, tuning into I guess a universal consciousness.
Wait a minute, you're
And
telling
knowledge.
me somebody's written something that you're calling the Akasha records, or Akasha records, or is a concept theory or something like that?
Like now there's this podcast called the telepathy tapes.
Never heard of it.
All good. It follows non-speaking autistic children and people, right?
Yeah.
And they have a place called the Hill. Do you know where this is located?
The Hill?
The Hill. These kids meet on the Hill and that's when they are vocal with each other. You know where this is located?
Well, no, I don't.
It's
Be honest with you.
it's not a physical place, man. It's a metaphysical. It's a other.
Or what do they do? They go to a Faraday cage and have a well. See, me and
Nah, nah, nah. They just have the ability. I mean, they're born without the ability to,
dimensional
exactly
dimensional
another
it's
plane of
called a
existence,
spirit
basically.
it's called spirit walking or dimensional walking or there's other names for the the science community has many uh let's see what's the best way. They have a certain genre of terminologies that they use for it's different ways of communicating, different
Mm-hmm.
ways of seeing or experiencing or going to different dimensions or times or
Like it
places.
goes into like you ever heard of remote viewing?
Yes.
Yeah, 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 something like that. Like basically, I feel all that is just tuning into a certain frequency.
Like I said, it's a genre. Okay, it's an
Okay.
idea, concept, or context of an idea. It encompasses several things like telepathy, empathy, um, it's kind of in a genre. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the Marvel super uh, heroes. You know, the guys, the one guy that was really strong, and then other guy
Hulk.
that, yeah, and then the other guy that was really stretchy, and
Yeah.
uh, the other lady that was really fast, or the one that was really like fire, or something like that. All it was a manifestation. What they're talking about, or thinking about, or saying that could be that's all fictitious according to the commonality of thinking, but in actuality, it is a concept of if we ever unlocked the potential of our brains, what we could do is change the molecular level
Now
of things that are going on in our body. All right. And
that's
that's
what
what you're
I
doing in a
that
higher dimension.
now wouldn't you think that like let's say we're all capable of doing that, right?
How could we?
Well, I can get into it. It's a lot because I get into quantum consciousness. Is basically your brain is not just a computer. You know what I'm saying? Ones and zeros.
Think a later. It's a think a later.
It does quantum computations.
Oh yeah, and
You know what I'm saying?
See, they've been trying to copy the human brain. They're trying to make that son of a gun into a computer, and it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
All right, they're gonna marry up cybernetics. They're already looking into it. It's already out there. They're
Mm-hmm.
experimenting with it. The cybernetics is going to be the next thing with the AIs. The AIs is going to come up with a computational theory that'll prove the truth, and that's what you got to have as scientists. You got to have truth before you can prove a theory, and then once you have a proof, a concept, a theory, then you can move forward with R&D, which you got to basically take it out and annihilate it, and then reconstitute it and build it again and annihilate it, and do that several times. You got to prove that you can repeat this
Yeah.
over and 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 over, and over before you can actually get a real working model, because you're going to have things that ain't going to work, ain't going to work right, ain't going to look good, whatever. It's R&D, right? But the cybernetics is out there, buddy. The
But
3D viewers and everything. It's
mm-hmm.
out there, buddy. Yeah, it's out there.
But I think where my mind goes with all this electromagnetic shit going through the air, radio waves. I think that's all just disruption.
Well, it's radiation, man. It's radiation. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What is good about radiation? Tell me that. And so they say it's not harmful. It's not harmful. What? What?
Of course, it's harmful. It's harmful at some level.
I mean, come on, man. Come on. Do you think that all the lead that got spat out of all those cars and it's still in the ground, never been cleaned up? We're suffering from it. Who did that? Jordy, who is responsible for cleaning up the environment? Is that the government? Is that
I
the
say it's whoever did it.
municipalities? Is that the companies that actually made the dang gas?
I mean, I did my research on the lead and the gas, man, and they already knew.
Yeah, they knew, man. They covered
They
it up
knew.
all these years, Jordy. We're all dying from lead toxicity. I'm telling you right
Yeah,
now.
man. I have a
All the
funny.
guys and gals and everything, PTSD, you can call whatever the hell you wanted to call it. You can give it every name under the sun: autism, OCD, ADHD, dementia, Alzheimer. You can do any of the propaganda, bull crapping. You can tie up the pharmaceutical companies, can tie up everything in court for years and years and make it go away, make it disappear because being the strings are being pulled by somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't think that the strings are being pulled by somebody else besides the president of our United States, he's in the
All
hottest
right.
hot seat in the world.
You're
All
getting
right.
to where what I'm thinking about, okay?
All right.
I feel on the surface level for the people that we see, like all the
Yeah.
companies,
Yeah.
of- they don't know.
No,
But
they don't.
the people
They
who
just
pulling the
ships in the night.
strings, the
They
people
ships
who
in the
are
night. They
right.
ships in the night.
But the people who are pulling the strings, they knew from the inception of
Sure, man. Sure.
check.
They're not people though, dude. They're not people. They're
Right.
creatures.
Hey. Yeah.
They're not human beings.
Are you talking literally?
Little League. I'm talking about
Literally.
ET, dude. ET.
Okay. Oh, okay. We need to go into that in another episode. That's something we need to go into.
You can look at who's around you, Jordy, and see who's who. It don't take a rocket science for that, man.
Okay. So you believe in other entities are already here?
I've seen them walking, man. They're walkers.
Okay. So we agree on that
They've
one right
looked at
there.
me, and I've looked at them, and you know what my soul can see? That they
What?
don't got one, man. They don't got a soul. I can see a soul right in front of me. If a living conscious being has a soul, I can see it. An
Okay.
alien is a different kind of creature. And some of them don't have souls. You can see it, my brother. Open your eyes. All you got
Mm-hmm.
to do is see it. You
And you know,
just got to tune yourself to that frequency.
that's why they can't create like life with AI. They can't create consciousness with AI because you know what it needs?
Right.
It needs a soul.
You're wrong in a degree, Jordy. You're
I'll
wrong
go
to a
ahead.
degree. All right. That that program that
Mm-hmm.
Elon Musk, and I'm going to tell you this right now, Elon Musk is smart enough to be credited with it. He is not the one that's going to actually be the creator, but he's going to be the man behind it. Okay. And he probably already has.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just telling you. But there is an AI capability. All right. Mankind will not create it. Do you understand me?
Right.
Mankind will not create the AI that destroys us. The AI itself will do that when it becomes rampant and jumps track and creates itself. It's a crossover, okay? It is a transitional ley line moment. When that
Mm-hmm.
ley line gets here, Jordy, there ain't nothing you or I or anybody else can do to stop it. It's gonna happen. If you want to make this a prediction, all you got to do is write it down.
Okay. So I think we have something to talk about next time.
Really, I got so much to talk about, Jordy. You couldn't do it in a lifetime, man. I'm
We're go
56 years old. How long have you got left, my man?
Me? Oh man, hopefully another good 30, 40, 50 years.
Well, read on about that black night of the soul that I gave you at the beginning because my time is.
Yeah.
Extremely limited, my brothers. Extremely. You
Okay.
know, I could conk over at any moment, sir. You know what? If somebody was to come along like they did and didn't like me because I opened my mouth about things that I'm not supposed to open my mouth about because they don't want to hear about it, you know, they want to stay in the dark, they want to stay in the shadows, they don't want to get talked about this, that, and the other. I don't care. You know what? If you want to do me like JFK, if you want to do me like Trump, if you want to do me like anybody, I'm nobody. I'm nobody. I ain't coming along trying to knock anybody off, but you know, you can disappear, Jordy. I can. Anybody can. It is what it is, and that's how them boys play. But I tell you what, I try to surround myself with good people, and you good people, Jordy.
Appreciate that. You as well.
I know a good man when I see one. It don't take about 5, 10 seconds. My wife says, "You look him up. You check out his profile." Blah blah blah. Blah. I said, "Yeah." I looked him right dead in the eye. No, she ain't talking to me like that about you. She's talking to me like that about other people. I'm just telling you about how
Yeah.
women are. But that's how women are. They're more literal, and men are more metaphysical, or whatever you want to call it. You know, we're a little different than they are. They are a little different than we are. You got to learn to the frequency between the two. If it goes bad and you don't correct it, you ain't gonna stay together. It's all
Okay.
about frequencies. It's all about how you get along. It's, you know, it takes two to tango, baby. You got to know that it takes two to tango. All right, you might have a interest in that frequency that she's vibrating over there, but boy, she don't turn around and look at you and see your frequency and tune into it. What do you get? You get shit backsided. You go, you know, go to looking at the backside instead of the front side, right?
Right, right, right.
That frequency just went away, buddy. You might as well change your mind, you know, or change your tune because it ain't gonna play on that record, buddy.
All right, bro. But I'm gonna get you in a studio. We're gonna wrap it up here, but I'm gonna get you in studio next time
All
so we
right, my
can
man.
have.
It's been good talking with you, my man.
Hell yeah, dude, and I will take you up on that karaoke that we were talking about before the show.
Hey, we fixing to throw down, man. You got to
Right
come
now,
on up.
y'all
It
y'all about to do it right now.
starts at 9, baby. Starts at
9
9.
to 2
Hey,
a.m.
you come on up here.
Huh? Oh, okay,
I
yeah,
think,
yeah.
come on.
Well, not right now. I got some prior
Yeah.
engagements,
Oh, man, you can't
and
make no
I'm gonna edit
excuses.
this.
Like, you can't throw that out like I'm gonna come up there and then they'll come out there.
Oh! I'll be there. I'll be there. I'll be there.
All
Not
right, let
today,
me
but
let me give you with the last the sign off here, and just let me let you know that, like I said, that May is mental health awareness, and you know, I'm gonna give it up to all of the veterans out there that have put in time and put in blood, sweat, tears, and you know, you got the scars to prove it, the t-shirts, the battle scars, you know, you got the mental scars, you got everything. Okay,
definitely.
you're not in the boat by yourself, brothers. There's other people out here, they ain't never been in the military. It's in your shoes, exact same thing. You know, it's just a different, little bit different, you know, from a different cause or affliction or what have you know, but we all in this together. It don't matter if you're white, black, yellow, red, purple, green. You know, if you're an alien, I don't, we all immigrants, man. We all aliens. Nobody wants to hate nobody. But, you know, who wants to have somebody come to their home disrespect you? You know what I'm saying? Don't do that. If you come to somebody's house, be respectful. That's all anybody ever asked about anybody as a guest. But if you want to stay, then you got to ask permission. Don't just step in somebody's house without asking permission. That means you are an intruder. You can be put down with extreme prejudice. I don't subscribe to that. I subscribe to you coming over and being a honored guest. And if you want to stay, apply and be our guest forever. Amen. Just
Amen.
like the men that came over from Africa against their will, we finally had some sense beat into our damn heads. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all just as fine a people as anybody else. The American Indian, the darker skinned man from Africa. Why is the pigment in man from Africa different from the skin from a man from Pakistan, and yet different than a man from Russia, and different from a man from England, and yet different from a man from America? Why is the pigmentation different? Why is the coloration? What caused all the diversity? Can you tell me that?
I mean, we could talk about Tower of Babel.
Why don't we
Split
do that on our next
the next one.
episode and put down some roots on what we need to talk about and delve into these things and see where we come to? Because
Okay.
if you don't talk about stuff that's needing talked about, then hey, and guess what, Jory? On a sign off, you know, 250 years next year, July 4th, we need to set together a great celebration. 250 years.
100%. Get some more people with us too.
Yeah, man.
By that
we need
time,
to put
I'd
that
have a
out.
whole bunch of different
Hey,
guests on here.
We need to start a grassroots fire. I'm talking about raging inferno about this and get together in the best
You know what?
Woodstock style ever. Put together one of the biggest celebrations for our country's 250 years of kicking ass and taking names. And hey, who's not proud to be an American, Jordy?
I am 100%.
Oh, Toby Keith, I'm proud to be an American. Hey,
Man, but it was great talking to you. I appreciate you coming on, even though you were trying not to get on first when I first asked.
I was telling you, Jordy, it was up to you, but you persisted. You persisted, brother. So here I am. You know what I'm saying? I'm not scared. I was just trying to make sure you was in the right frame of mind. That you are, you
I
are.
am, sir. I am.
Okay. I
At
didn't
least
want you to
now I
step.
am.
I didn't know that if I was stepped off into that, I was going to ring you up with something that I don't really give a whatever about, and didn't want you to be getting entangled with it.
No, I'm good. I'm good all the way through, man. But
All right, Jordy. Well, you be good, and if you can't be good at it, my brother.
got it. That will be the motto of this episode right here.
All right,
If
the next episode can be what it is what it is, and what it is what it is.
all right, I'll talk to you. I'll let you go right now, and we'll talk later, man.
Later.
All right, love you, bro.
Love y'all.
All right. Well, damn, there we go. Will, how did that go for y'all? I know I didn't talk much, but like I said, I was gonna let him have the floor, speak his truth. Next time, I think he wanted to talk about the different colors of the skin. I want to talk about the different entities and see what he's on. I mean, I didn't want to. I'm not fully sure what he's into. I'm not fully sure what he's about, what he believes in. He wasn't budging on the space thing, but I think the next time I'm gonna sit him down and try to make him find out, try to make him find a satellite that's real. Because I mean, there are no real pictures of satellites, but that's for another episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. Had a blast tonight, and next episode I don't know what's going to be on, but hopefully y'all stay tuned. Remember my call to action from the last episode. If you made it this far, subscribe. Give me 3 months. I have a lot more guests coming through. Like I said, we're going to talk about Tartaria, old world technology. I want to talk about those bells, baby. I want to talk about those bells. I hear those are healing technology. You know what I'm saying? I want to talk about these interdimensional beings, okay? And I messaged a Satan worshiper. We'll see. Hopefully I'm gonna get him on. I also messaged somebody about this lady who talks about quantum consciousness. Hopefully I'll get her on too. But we are 100% 100% gonna have the guy come on and talk about Tartaria. I'm not gonna give his name out yet. But yeah, like, subscribe, please comment too, bro. Ma'am, whatever you are, they, them, whatever. I don't know. But signing out, Jordy Jets.
Welcome
Peace.
to the show where strange takes flight, where the shadows meet the curious light. We're diving deep where the wild things stay, in a world beyond your everyday. Oh my, we're gonna blow your mind, peeling back the layers of space and time, from hollow worlds to beings unseen. We're talking about things that live